There we go. Okay, hi, I'm Jeanette from Yearbook Life. Thank you very much for joining me. Today we're going to be going over how to create your custom cover. Before we jump into the custom cover, I was speaking a little bit about recording webinars before I started this recording. And I want to show you guys, let me share my screen with you. I'm going to stop the video just so you can concentrate on follow my voice. Okay, bear with me as, okay, share. There we go. Okay, so you should see my screen now. And what I wanted to show you guys is here in our yearbooklife.com, already a customer page. If you go to Pictavo, you can check out here our webinar schedule and recordings. So if you miss anything, you can always come here and watch previous recordings. If you want to sign up early for any of them, you can do that. As you can see, in a second, there we go. You can see all the topics of the webinars that are upcoming. So this is the one we're doing right now. Once it's recorded, we'll switch that to watch recording. And so yes, the next one that we have upcoming is uploading portraits and flowing portraits. So if you want to learn about that, feel free to join me. All right. Since I am here in the customer page, let me show you one more thing before we jump over to the software. And that is our news you can use and downloadable forms. So here you will be able to find all kinds of good stuff. You can find our design guides, administrative guides for the admins of the book. We have flyers for by the yearbook storefront. And pardon me a second, I need to let somebody in. There we go. And so if you ever need any more information, how-to videos, things like that, feel free to go in here. Like I said, it's yearbooklife.com, already a customer, and then click on Pictavo, and then you can find it in the news you can use section. All right, so let's go to our software here. And give me a second while I need to make some adjustments, because working from home is a wonderful thing, but then you have little playmates like your dog that wants to snuggle like 2 inches away from you while you do this. So that's what's going on right now. All right. So let's talk about when your custom covers are due. And if you don't know where to check that, I'm going to show you that right now. We're going to go here to under the Manage My Book section. We're going to go to the Advisor Center. And then we are going to go to the project specifications. In project specifications, you're going to find all of the specs for your book, how many you're ordering, how many pages, hardcover. If you are doing a custom cover, you're going to see it here in custom, in cover type, excuse me, and it's going to read custom cover. The other option is stock cover, and you will be set up for one or the other. Stock covers can be submitted with the rest of your pages. You don't need to submit that any earlier. If you are wondering what your cover due date is, you can see that over here, cover due, and it will have the date there. And the pages due, it's going to be underneath that. The differences between the two, between a custom and a stock cover. A stock cover, you can't make any modifications to, only things like adding the school name. That's it. You can't shift that text box around. It will be just where it's placed, that's where it is. And you can't add any other custom items, any design items. Whereas a custom cover, even if you use our custom backgrounds, it is completely customizable. So you can add text boxes, you can add photo boxes, you can add clip art to it, and I'll show you what I mean when we jump into our actual cover to get started. And we can do that from here, view ladder, or we can jump over back home and go to our ladder and then choose the cover to start designing. Just bear with me. When you're working from home and you have a Zoom call, you can notice how slow your internet can be. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to go ahead and double click on our outside cover. And this is a hardcover book that I'm working on. This book was set up with a grid to have there, and you can work with it or you can work without. If you want to take away your grid, you just click the W on your keyboard and that takes it away. Let's say you want to use it just to place something specific in a specific spot. You can always click that W again, bring it back up, and then just take it off when you are done. I like working with a blank slate, so I always take it off. I just leave it on just to show everybody that how easy it is to bring up that grid option. Okay, so this is a hardcover book, and if you have a soft cover, it's going to look a little bit different, but it's going to be the same concept. Right out here, it's going to be the wrap. So this is what wraps around your cover, and all the gray here is going to be in the inside of the cover of your hardcover book. The pink lines in the middle is going to be your spine. And then these green lines you see right here are going to be your crimp lines. So keep that in mind when you are designing that you don't want anything like lettering or things like that that fall on that crimp line, because it's going to make that fold. And just be aware of that when you are designing your cover. We can jump over here to our collections, and we can select a theme that we want to work with, or you can go over here to the art. Where are we? The art, and go to straight to custom covers, and then choose from the library, choose the theme you want to work with. So I think this just kind of saves you a couple of steps, so a couple of clicks. So I just go straight to collections and go from there. You can, of course, view the art that we have available through our art guide, and you can get our art guide from our yearbooklife.com customer page that I was just at. But you can also download it here from the software itself. You can go over here to the help box, or not box, but the little icon. And we can go here to kit materials, and then click the down arrow there, and then you will have the option to click on K-8 catalog, and the high school inspiration guide is also going to give you, I think that actually only has templates, but you can always check it out and see what's available there. But anyway, that's how you would go about finding our art guide. And then our art guide will have numbers to all of our design elements, so you don't have to sit here and go through all of these. You can quickly pick it out in the guide, and then this number that you find there corresponding to it, you can do a search for in the little search field right here. And then once you put in that number, it will pull up here, and then you can just click and drag it over. I'm going to just go ahead and click and drag this one. And there it is. So like now, like I said, you can customize it to your needs. You can go ahead and insert a text box. Let's go ahead and do that. Click here under type, the T for type, and we're going to click on headline. Of course, we can make changes to this. Let's go ahead and type something up. And then we can change the color here under the little wizard wand. I'm going to go ahead and make it white. Oops. Why aren't you going white? Oh, I see. It's the typeface that I chose. When it's something, depending on your typeface, this one, for example, is very thin. Oh, there we go. Okay. I thought I was clicking something wrong. Okay, so let's ignore that. All right, so now obviously you can go ahead and choose a color here from the color wheel, or you can use one of your project saved colors. Keep in mind that if you choose a color in the color wheel, you can change the values in the saturation to create your own shade, and then you can save that color by clicking here the little plus sign to use throughout your project, like that green right there. But I want to go ahead and make it white. All right. If we want to change the typeface, we can go to the T for type settings and change the font style. All of our fonts, again, will be listed in our art guide. So you can look through that and pick whatever you want. If you have I just chose stencil. If you have some content on your text box that it's not going to fit, you're going to get this little warning right there. If you click on that, it's going to let you know not all of the text in this box is visible. So at that point, you can either resize your text box like so, or you can come over here to the T for text and change the sizing of your font like this. You can use the minus and plus button. You can type a number and change it that way. And like so. Feel free to play around with all of this, not only in your cover, but even when you're designing, feel free to play around with your settings, the wizard wand options, and the information also, because this is really how you're going to get to know the software the best. Here in the I for the properties, you're going to see the sizing of your text box, where it is positioned. You can nudge it little bits at a time like this. You can flip and rotate it. You can play around with the arrangement. This will bring it forward. If you had another design element there that you wanted this to bring forward, you can click this to bring to the front, or the little back one to send to back. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go back to our collections. And I'm going to go ahead and stick with abstract. And other things that we can insert here will be snippets and accents. Snippets are mini little templates that you can customize, and you can just click and drag them like so. Now, if you wanted to make any changes to this, you can do that, but you would need to ungroup it. Right now, as you see, it's grouped together, so you can move them together. But if we click here, the ungroup and group option, now when we deselect that and select them again, we can select them individually. So let's say we wanted this, but we didn't want as many photo boxes. We can go ahead and get rid of that like so. And now we just have the one photo box that we can insert pictures to. And we're going to go here to photos to do that. And then you're going to pull the folder you want to pull, select the photos from. Keep in mind that if you see a, oh, I don't see any here. Give it a minute. I thought I had used one of these. I don't see a little icon letting me know that I've used a picture. If you have used a picture somewhere else, it's going to, oh, I see, because it is a cover and it's not going to pop up. Okay. If you're designing pages, you will see a little icon over here with a photo, and not a photo, with a little book, letting you know that it's been used in the book somewhere else. So, and it's going to give you the pages. Oh, it is there. I'm not sure why it's not populating. That little icon normally is there. It's a little green, looks like a book. But if you come over here to the properties, you see that it's being used on these pages. So that's always a nice little trick to check. And if your photo is high resolution enough, you can convert this into a background. Just go ahead and click here, convert to background. And now that becomes your background instead. Okay, so you have that option. And then if you want to play around with the opacity of it, you can flip and rotate it and things like that. So you have those options there. If you don't like those choices, you can always click the undo button and then just take it back to where it was. Obviously, you can put a school picture here. You can put artwork from the students, whatever you wish to put here in the back of your cover. I should have pointed that out. The right-hand side is going to be your front. The left-hand side is going to be your back of your cover. And if you're in doubt, you can always check here, front cover, back cover. Okay, let's go ahead and put this back. There we go. All right, keep in mind that this will only turn into a cover, if you choose to turn it into a cover, a photo, if it's high enough resolution. If you are trying to create a cover with something that is low res, right here is letting you know the DPI of that photo is only 141. And for printing, best quality printing, we suggest 300 DPI. So when I try to convert this into a background, it's going to let me know it is going to be too low res and it's going to look blurry and pixelated. So it won't even do it for you. I'm letting somebody else in. There we go. Okay. Okay. So that is how you go ahead and to create your cover. I mean, it's pretty easy, right? If you wanted to insert any accents, you can go ahead and do that. Like I said, you have the option in snippets and accents. Anything with a color wheel will let you know that that item is colorable. So if you bring it in and you want to go ahead and change the color, you can go ahead and do that. Or you can use one of your project saved colors over here. All right, now let's say we are using student art for our cover. This is how we go about inserting that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. And I'm going to get rid of this background too. Basically, what we're going to do is we're just going to insert photo boxes to put in our student art there. We're going to scan. You're going to scan your student art at 300 DPI. And then you're going to upload it into your photos just like you would an image file. We're going to click here on photo boxes. We're going to go ahead and click and drag the photo boxes that we're going to use. I'm going to go ahead and use two different ones for the front and the back so I can show you that. Obviously, if you wanted to do, for example, finalists and put several photo boxes here, you can definitely do that. And then maybe insert text boxes to put in the student name underneath that or grade and things like that. Okay, so then we're going to go to our photos. And I always recommend to create a folder called covers. Here we go. For the student art, that way you can easily find it. And I'm going to go ahead and use our little flamingo here. And it's just a matter of clicking and dropping it there. Now, if we double click it, we can make adjustments to the zooming and zooming in and out options. And then right now we have the image itself selected. So we can zoom in and out of it like so. But if we click here towards the middle, now we're selecting the actual photo box and we can make changes to that. So if we wanted to include more or less of our picture or trim anything off, we can go ahead and do that. Just click outside of it to deselect it. And then we can size it to what we need it to be. Now, keep in mind, like I talked about, this is the crimp line, right? So if we have something like this, we want to go ahead and bleed it, I don't know, to the edge over here. This is going to fall on that crimp line and it's going to have that fold. So be aware of that so you can place it in somewhere outside of that area, or if you don't mind having it on the crimp, then that's fine too. And then you can stretch it to however you want to set it up. You can insert let me go ahead and stretch it. Whoops. I'm going to go ahead and stretch it more so it covers the entire page. And we want to make sure we bleed it all the way to the wrap because this is going to show in the inside cover, this gray area right here. Okay. Let's go ahead and stretch that out. And if we need to make any adjustments, we can do that like so. Okay, like that. Just Other things that you need to be aware of is placement of the wording or the art itself. Here you can see that this is very close to the edge, and that's going to maybe be in the fold a little bit. The foot is going to be completely off the front page. Not the front page, the front cover. So you're going to want to adjust that if you wanted to. You can always also do something like this. Let's say you want to resize that, and it's going to take up most of the front cover, but not completely cover the entire thing. But what you can do is you can insert a background to this, so it almost looks like it's got a frame around it. Let me see, I think it's in basics. We have solids. I know there is somewhere we have solid backgrounds. Let me do a search and see if I can find it. Oh, I don't know where it is. I apologize. I'm just going to use this as an example. And I go ahead and click and drag that over. And then now see how that is, it looks like it's got almost like a border around the box. Anyway, you have something back there. If you don't want it to be white, you have some kind of color making it pop up. Or if you wanted it white, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You can always create a border on the photo box itself by clicking here under borders and play around with the color and the sizing of that border. And right here, like so, and then get rid of that background altogether, something like that, okay? If you want to insert a spine text, such as the year and the school name, things like that, it is really simple. It is just a matter of inserting a text box, and after you type in your information, you can just rotate it. I'm going to go ahead and change the color just because it's kind of little not very dark. So you can click and drag your arrows here to rotate. If you wanted to use your properties here and then change that here, we can go ahead and nudge it. And so it's a perfect 90 degrees. And then we're going to place it in between those two pink lines right there. If you wanted it centered, I always say make your text box the size of the area that you want it centered on, like this. That way, it will automatically center it there for you. If we go over here to the text settings, excuse me, we can center justify it, right or left, however you want to do that. Okay, if you want to have some space in between, you can still type here and it'll just move. And we can put a year, or you can insert two text boxes and just place them in opposite corners. It's entirely up to you. You can go ahead and play around with that. Just be sure that it does fit in between, your content fits in between those hot pink lines. You can nudge it a little bit with your keyboard, using your keyboard, so it's centered a little better even, and like so. Okay, all right, and that's it, you guys. This is creating custom covers in a nutshell. Do you guys have any questions for me? Do you, if you do, just type them up in the little chat box. I'm going to open up, if I can figure out how to do that, I can open up, there we go, the chat. And I will take some questions if you guys have anything that I haven't covered. I love the questions because it keeps me in check. It brings me to anything that I might have missed. And it also lets me know, you know, what you guys are interested in learning about. So bring it on. Any questions?
Hi, I'm May.
Hi.
I'm a student and I made a cover design for my yearbook that I would like to receive feedback on. Is that something that would be done during this meeting or a meeting with our advisor?
Yeah, let's shoot me an email, Yanet@yearbooklive.com, YANET @yearbooklive.com, and then I can take a look at it. We can't, obviously design anything, but I can give you feedback as far as if it's going to fit properly, and things like that. We can talk about, there's certainly chat about that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. All right. Any other questions? We have an artist designing our cover. Do we just upload this as a photo, or is there a different process? You would upload it as a photo. So they're going to design it and they're going to save it as a JPEG, right? And then you can go ahead and upload it, and you can do like exactly what I did. Put it on a photo box and then just click here, convert to cover, and it will change that for you. The other thing that you can do, or not the other thing, but one thing I do want to show you is the margins for, depending on where they're creating it. Do you know what software they're using to create the cover? Is it InDesign or Photoshop? InDesign. Okay, great. So you can, let me go here to our help menu. And let me think where I can find this. Just did a search for cover size after I hit the help menu. And I haven't shown you how to submit it, have I? I'm so glad I came here because I completely forgot about that part. I will show you that in a moment. Okay, setting up a custom cover. I think it's here. And I can include a link to this in our YouTube recording, just so you can have it handy. And because I've gone to, no, that's not what I want. Nope. Oh man. I will send you the link to where this is. I can't find it right now, but we do have, depending on how many pages you have to your book, what kind of binding you have, hard or soft cover, there is a measurement and an actual template for InDesign that they can use. That way they know exactly how the sizing, where the wrap is going to fall, where the crimp line is and things like that, and the spine, so they can design accordingly. Okay, so you don't have to run into problems like you have text here that's going to fall on the wrap line. So having that, I think, will be a really good help. So Dawn, I will send that to you, and just be on the lookout for the email. Okay. Would you recommend we scan at 300 dpi? Yes, for sure. That is what you need to do. If we can get a higher resolution, would that be okay too? Yeah, it would be. 300 dpi on the size that you're going to need. So for example, if you have 300 dpi on a photo that is very small, as soon as you enlarge it, it's going to obviously look pixelized. So keep in mind that you want it the size that it is at 300 dpi, that it's intended to be used. Okay, what kind of finish will the cover have? That varies. So by the standard is gloss. There is an added cost if you want matte cover, and then just you would just shoot us an email and we will let you know the pricing on that. I don't really know what the pricing is for matte, so just send me an email and I'll find out for you. Do you offer cover effects like foil and embossing? We do. Again, it is an extra cost for that, and it depends on your design, the size of your design and what you want foiled and embossed. So if you have a mock-up of what you are thinking about, that would be great if you can share it with me, and then we can get our graphics team to take a look at it and let you know pricing. So, okay, our yearbook will be very short, only 56 pages. Will that be thick enough to print text on the spine? If you take a look at I want to say yes. You're just going to have to make it smaller. I mean, think about, even if you make your font here on your spine 8 point, you're still going to be able to see that. Between 8 and 10 is what you normally have your portrait names at. So if that gives you an idea of that size, so it's, it's not going to be like super tiny that you're going to need a magnifying glass to take a look at what it says. As long as it fits between those two pink lines, it's going to fit it, and it's going to look fine. Okay. If you have any questions and you want to have us take a look at it, again, feel free to email me and I'll be happy to take a look and make sure that that it looks okay. But really, you can tell if you have something so super tiny, like 6 points, in order to make it fit, then you know that is very small. But if you can get away with 8, as low as 8, then I think you'll be good. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, good. All right. These are good questions. Okay. Anything else? Because then I can, oh, no problem. Okay. So let me go back here and show you guys how to submit your cover. I am so sorry. See, I told you I should have had more coffee. All right. Let me save this. And our first step to submitting is going to be, we're going to our ladder. I jumped back home and then go to ladder. And we're going to approve our cover. That's going to be the first step we need to do. And this is also how you're going to submit your pages. So you're kind of getting a 2-for-1 here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and select it. And we're going to click here the little approve thumbs up button. And that's going to let you know that it's approved. And once that's done, we can go ahead and click outside of it to deselect it. And we're going to click right here where it has that book icon over here. And when you hover over it, it will tell you submit your project. And it's going to let you submit your, if you're submitting them, let's say at the same time, you will always have to submit your cover first, and then you're going to submit your pages. So this is kind of the same process for everybody, whether you're submitting your cover early or if you're submitting it with your pages. So we're going to go ahead and click here on submit cover. And then it's going to ask you several questions that you're going to go through. It's going to give you an estimated page count. If you think you're sticking with your original page count, this one is 128. You can put that in there. If you think it's going to be more, that's fine. You can make the changes afterwards. It just might, if you increase a certain amount, you might need to, you will definitely need to let us know, because we might need to reprint that cover because it might change the dimensions of it. So just keep that in mind. But for the most part, if this is just an estimated number, keep it in mind that you can only add pages in multiples of 4 if you have a soft or a hardcover, or if multiples of 8 if you're doing a Smythe book. All right, then you're going to see your product specifications. Again, here are your standards. Is your gloss. We do have a gloss linen, a matte, and a matte linen cover options. And again, those are at an additional charge. So this is what that's letting you know.
What are the linens like?
Pardon me?
What is the linen texture like?
It looks just like linen. You know how linen has a textured look to it,
like weave of it.
It looks like that. I can find a sample and send you a picture of that. I'm sure we have a picture of what that looks like somewhere along the line. Okay, so if you go ahead and shoot me that email that you were going to send, go ahead and remind me to send you what that linen smooth looks like, or the texture, and I will let you know. I will send that to you. Okay. If you are doing end sheets, the standard end sheets is going to be white end sheets. If you're doing color, then you can go ahead and choose that. Again, there's an additional charge to that. And if you're doing personalized covers, then it's going to have your options here to choose whether you are doing just a name. These over here, options 1 or 2 are not available for hardcover books. That's why they're not, that's why they're grayed out and not selectable. But if there was going to be personalization, then you would go ahead and select the options that you want and then the colors that you would want on that. This here, it is for your if for personalization, if you have a number of covers that you have sold already, you can go ahead and send that in. And then you have special instructions. If you have anything that you want our graphics team to take a look at, or I can't think of anything really specific for for covers that you would need special instructions for, but you can always put special instructions there if you needed to. If you've wanted a cover proof, there is a charge for that, and shipping costs as well. That is an option. So if you want to just waive that, you can go ahead and click the I waive. And then we have the low resolution approval. If you want, I always say, always keep it on no. By default, it's always going to be on no. Contact me if cover images are low resolution. You will know that ahead of time because you're going to have a warning letting you know that it's under 200 DPI. Anything in the book under 200 DPI is going to generate a warning. So if you want to be contacted because maybe you missed it, then we will let you know. Our graphics team will red flag it and we will contact you at that point. And then we have some legalese over here that y'all are more than welcome to read through. And then at the very end, your name, agree to the terms, and then you can click here on submit covers, and that's it. Okay, now I know I'm done. Okay, now I know I haven't missed anything. All right, any more questions from you guys? And then I'll be ready to wrap it up. Anybody have any other questions?
So there are no options for custom end sheets?
There is, yes. You can choose, like if you want to design them, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can. Like I said, it's an additional cost for it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. If there is nothing else, I am ready to wrap it up and let you guys go to your day. Thank you very much for joining me. And please, if you think of anything else later on, feel free to email me. You can always contact us at the office, or you can email me. You can contact our tech support team. You can find their tech support team information right here under the little profile. Click on support, and here is the phone number or the email address if you want to contact us that way. All right, you guys have a great day. Thanks again.